So, if you're an artist, you know this term. I'm like, very well. Um, it's a terrible name, actually. I hate it. It implies that you're going to struggle in order to, you know, attain your dream of being an artist of any kind, an actor, a singer, a dancer, you know, the backup dancer, whoever you are as an artist, wherever you are on that scale. Um, Now, I've I've been a studying actor for a very long time, and it is beaten. You are constantly told that you need to have these. But what's funny is you're trying to do this dance where, okay, you need a job that can earn you enough money to support you, but then top of that also support your dream. That is two very different financial things that require different financial goals, and usually the survival job just doesn't cut it, especially now. That's why I've named this one The Good, the Bad. And I've been around the world long enough to know I've been working forever, and just because of the fascination of work, I just was a worker. I liked work and I felt appreciated, and I enjoyed it and stuff. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. But the survival job is a stopgap, to give you flexibility and to give you, financial security while you try to achieve your goal to be an independent. At the very base level, you just want to be at a point. I think a lot of artists are in this situation. I just don't want to struggle. Just have me pay my damn bills and I'll be fine. I don't want to, okay, can I eat today? Can I still afford my fucking anxiety medication? All this stuff. That you just don't think about with this stuff. But I feel your pain when, you're sitting there, you're looking at your survival job, and it's the typical ones that they give you over and over. You will go online and you will see list after list after list of I don't know, the bartender, the waiter, food was probably the least flexible job you can get. If you're in the food industry, if you're a waiter, it's one thing. If you're back of the house, that is a completely different world, and they want you there. They don't care if you're an artist. You can strike out and get one of those diamonds in the rough where, maybe I knew a woman who owned a bar and she was drunk all the time. She wasn't even aware what planet she was on half the time. So, of course, it was a flexible fucking job. Anyway, but normally where everybody is just, this is what we gotta do, and this is, and everything's very corporatized now, for the most part. And so your time is demanded of you as a worker, and you also want your time to be, invested in your art, and there's nothing wrong in that. It's hard to, I find it fascinating when people make lists for artists, and then their temp jobs, go be an auto mechanic, they're just the most obscure thing. I have to go to school to get that freaking job. It's just ridiculous. Temp work in particular was fascinating because that was also another one where I knew a lot of people that were in that when I was working as a prep cook a little while back on the East Coast, and I was still going to acting school and all that. And a lot of people were like, the big issue with temp jobs is you don't know how long this is gonna go, so it's very hit or miss. And so you might be consistently, you might not, there are gonna be times where it's down, and it just didn't seem very sufficient. Yeah, sure, you'll get a little bit of flexibility with it. It seemed like that was the big thing. They all had flexibility. They just didn't have any freaking money to go anywhere. They couldn't go to do an audition. They couldn't go to do, any kind of class that they wanted. They just couldn't. It just wasn't in the cards. But you and I both know that we don't want to work in our shitty retail, our shitty bartender, waiter. Bartending is another one that gets put on a pedestal for artists. And they always put a disclaimer with this one. Specifically, it's very interesting when they put this on the list because I've seen it over and over and over again. Anytime I read another article on this subject, the disclaimer was, you could get worn out and tired from dealing with drunk patrons. That was the disclaimer. It was horrible. I'm just like, for real, for crying out loud. I mean, I've been in customer service forever, and I don't even work at a freaking bar anymore. But I will tell you this, there is nothing more annoying than a customer that's drunk. A customer is drunk can be a fiasco of a situation. They could be any kind. It depends on the customer. If they're one of those customers that they sip their beer and they leave, then you're cool. If they're drunk and they're all the time, they think they're funny, and this one wants to flirt with you, this one doesn't have any money, but they want to buy everybody a drink, and then they want to get, on top of the jukebox and try and dance. It's really nuts. It can get really crazy really fast. And I live in a small town. I think we covered this in previous things. Anyway, if you don't know and you're brand new to the channel, yeah. I live in a small town, and this is not the town where you want to deal with drunk patrons. It's just not. You will go nuts. I work at a 24-hour place, and I can tell the people just worn the hell out. Bartending and just being a bartender and having to control them and save people from themselves. It's taxing. It's long. You'll go home at hours that isn't always conclusive to an artist's life. So it just doesn't seem like it's worth it. Anyway. Moving on. But yeah, waitressing is another thing, or waitering, or whatever anyway, that's another one that gets put on a pedestal as well. And some say it gives them financial freedom, and others say, that it's not. I don't know. I just keep away from the food industry. I've been in there forever, and it's just one of those things where they just really could care less if you're an artist. That is not a artist-free, or artists are, everybody loves them. No. Contrary, you'll go online and you'll hear other, casting directors talk, you can come out to LA and you can get great waiter job. Well, that's LA for one. Here, everywhere else in America, I don't think it's given the same credence. First of all, you don't have a bunch of producers and executives all out and about. You don't have that. All the rest of the country, the way that area does. It is saturated with nothing but artistic people and import people. So of course, that's gonna look different. Here in Michigan, for example, it doesn't mean anything. It just means they want you to come in here. You better work hard, and they don't care if you can make an art or not. It's not in the cards. But I will give you the ugly. Now there's a new kid on the block right now. It's called gig jobs. Gig job. Now they are advertised right now. Everybody is claiming. It's all over online. You can read it all about it. Claiming to make this amount or that amount on driving Uber, doing this and doing that. And I'm not dismissing that. However, I will say this. Usually, if you live in an expensive place, okay, you have to start doing this magic trick act of all of a sudden you don't have one survival job, you have several gig jobs, and you're an independent contractor all of a sudden. So now all of a sudden you're running your own business, and then all of a sudden you have to, okay, so now I can kind of squeeze in being a dog walker, I can squeeze in doing this, I can squeeze in doing that, and then all of a sudden it looks, I'm like, you look around, I'm like, where the fuck did all these jobs come? I'm like, I thought I was just getting one. So you really have to be careful when it comes to this particular one. It's a death trap. And I'm like, I was in Seattle for about 7.5 months, and it became very clear that you are on the mercy of all these people that you didn't know, that were your neighbors, your friends, your whatever, that were giving you, references to get these type of jobs. They're not just coming from above, like everybody claims. Some of them, people make good money. They're able to sustain, their artist life and their gig life. And God bless them. That's what they can do. But I don't think that's the best one. I just don't. I refuse to believe. Now, that's not the ugliest one. I've done the ugliest one. Fast food. Now, I've only seen... This is always shown up as restaurant job for artists in those same lists where they give the disclaimer for the bartender. Because they're trying to oh, this is just a regular restaurant. It is not just a regular restaurant. It is a fast food job. A fast food job it can suck your soul away. You have the most it's just not a fun atmosphere to work in. It's just not. Sometimes you can have a cool crew. Every now and again you see that, but now all I see is miserable people in their 30s, 40s, and 50s. It's really shocking and not inviting at all. It's really disheartening when you walk in and you look at everybody and their atmosphere and the tone. It's a completely different place. Now, this is given kudos as you can usually with a fast food job, as opposed to being, a prep cook or a regular cook in a regular restaurant, because they'll crucify you. You try and get off the clock to go to an audition or to go do this or to go do that. They'll kill you. It won't freaking matter. Fast food, depending on the boss, usually you get away with it. They're usually a little flex, because they know, especially if you're a good worker. If you're a good worker in a fast food job, you are a high commodity that never comes around. They love you and you love them, and you work that, okay? If you're in I hope you're not in a position that you have to do this. But if you do, I know how you feel. And you know what? Everything does pass, as they say. But I'm going to give you a little list for the best survival jobs. I created one myself that are overlooked, that I never see on any of the blessed lists online. So here we go. Clowns. Now I know what you're saying. Isn't that technically an artist? Sure, it's technically an artist. But nobody brings this up ever. It's a great job. Especially if you love kids too. I'm not one of those people, but if you are, then that could work for you. Amusement park characters. Now, also, when I was in Manhattan, it's not amusement park characters. Sometimes they would I think this is promo work. They were just passing out they were outside of the theater, and they would have people dress up as characters from the famous comic book movie that was coming out, and people would walk down the street. You had, I think Elmo was out that day. There's all kinds of random people in random costume, and they get paid a lot of money to stand out there and dress up and walk around Manhattan, downtown Manhattan. I wish more states did this. It would look fun, and I think more artists would be happy. Wedding singers and other entertainers. Weddings are one of those things where everybody forgets how just fantastical people can get. I've heard of people dressing up like mermaids. There's been the couple that wanted to turn their backyard into a circus, and they wanted people that resembled Cirque du Soleil. People get really, really out of the box crazy. It's almost like we're trying to outdo each other who can have the most fantastical wedding. Moving on. Okay, makeup artists for artists. If you know how to do special effects makeup, you have a skill that you are hiding from the world. Don't hide it. Flaunt it. Use it. There's money in it. A lot of it. Because a lot of artists don't know how to do it. Especially when you're talking about lower production value stuff. Indie projects. You know, theater, non-theater. It really doesn't matter. Film, non-film, however you want to, go about it. The last one was, this is kind of under clowns also, children's birthday party entertainers, because they can get pretty, there's like magicians and the people that dress up as like Disney princesses and go to birthday parties and surprise little girl. I'm like, I didn't know you could do that. But again, if you like kids and people throw birthday parties, I don't see people throwing birthday parties. Anyway, but the last thing I want to remind everybody, no matter what type of survival job that you have, and you will have, it will be a part of your life as an artist, and that's okay. We love the whole journey, as nuts as it can get. Just remember that the goal of the survival job is for it to give you flexibility and funding into your financial freedom, to support your dreams. So when the survival job switches and all of a sudden it's a soul-crushing experience that is, you're left with nothing and you can't create and you're losing sleep and your job and your boss is an ass and, you're dealing with shitty, get the fuck out of there. It's not a survival job no more. There are many, many more. So when your survival job has gotten you down, just remember that there's a method to the madness. Okay? So that's today's episode of Artist Issues. I will see you all next week at 7:30. Thanks for watching. LSS. Bye.